Hey mamas, I'm Lacey, your lactation counselor, and you're listening to the Early Motherhood Guide podcast, where motherhood is simply supported. Today, I have the opportunity to talk with Helen Thompson. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, Lacey. It's a pleasure being on your podcast. I enjoyed being on yours. I enjoyed interviewing you earlier in mine, so it's
Yes.
great to have the opportunity to be on yours. I come from a childcare background, and I've been in the childcare industry for over 20 years. I now teach baby massage to mums who first-time mums and first-time dads who have babies between around about of from say newborn to about 3. And yeah, and I really enjoy doing that because I'm very passionate about helping mums to bond and connect with the babies more and build up their confidence and have that wonderful connection that they have through bonding and touching their baby.
Yeah. So, what inspired you to become a certified at teaching baby massage?
I think because I'd seen so many mums in childcare coming to me and saying, "Oh, I'm finding it really hard to connect with my little one. They've got colic, they've got constipation, and they're just and mums were just so stressed as well." And I sort of wanted to find something else that would help other than just childcare because I couldn't do much in the sort of childcare space. So I did a bit of research, went to a baby massage class and fell in love with it and thought, right, this is a niche that I'm sort of feeling that I'm missing.
Yeah.
And that's what inspired me to do it because I saw so many mums in that class, bonding and just having fun and sort of interacting with other mums and communicating with each other, including their babies.
Yeah. So, yeah, I can completely understand with colicky babies. It can be incredibly hard to bond with a baby when you just can't seem to comfort them. So, good on you for going the extra mile to finding what can help these moms. Could you describe some of these techniques that you use during a massage session for babies?
Um, it's basically for colic. We basically you go work on the tummy area because that's where the digestion system really works. And we always go in a clockwise direction because that's the way the bowel moves. And in order to release all that trapped wind and all the bubbles that are in there when they've got colic or constipation, if you go in a clockwise direction, you're actually pushing it out of the bowel, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I remember I've had classes where mums have done that, and the baby sort of instantly, soiled the nappy, which is great, but they yeah. So because that's how it helps by just massaging in a clockwise direction to release all that toxins and all the gunk inside the tummy, and we also do a bit of paddling by going paddling down, a bit like if you're scooping the sand, you go down the tummy, and that helps to release all the bubbles and stuff as well. And it also helps relax the abdomen as well, which is what you want to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I teach on it. I'd love to massage the babies, but that's all part of the experience for the mother. So I actually always demonstrate on a doll. I don't actually massage the babies because
Yeah.
that's the mother and the father's job to connect with the babies and have that lovely communication. So yeah.
Yeah, I bet that helps having you there to like guide them throughout the whole process while
Oh
they're doing
yeah,
it. Yeah, it'd be a
absolutely.
learning experience. So, in your experience, what are some of the benefits that baby massage can bring new parents and infants?
That's a very good question because there's a lot of benefits. Not only does it help with colic and constipation, but it also helps with that. And I was talking about the touch and the communication because you're communicating with your baby and you're touching your baby, and your babies thrive on touch. Babies love to be touched and they love to communicate with you. It also helps with body awareness, it helps with hand-eye coordination, it helps to build the immune system, and it helps with digestion. and it also helps with releasing all, as I said, all that trapped wind. And one of the benefits that I love to talk about is sleep, because it does actually help. I'm not saying instantly your baby will go to sleep if you massage them. I think that's, I'd love to say that, but it does improve sleep if you set up a sort of routine before with your baby for sleep. You know, when you're having your routine, it really helps improve their sleep. It helps improve the quality of their sleep as well. They sleep more soundly because they're more relaxed and they're more contented, and you've released all that lovely oxytocin.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I love that. I mean, I would sleep amazing if someone gave me a massage every night.
yeah, it does help. It's just so nice. I mean, it's, yeah, I mean, people always say to me, another thing that people always say to me, but if I massage my baby before sleep, you know, I'll be doing it too rough and they won't like it. And that's not true, because babies love to, I mean, you've got to be firm when you're massaging them as well. I mean, that's one of the things too. So,
Okay, how do you know
yeah.
if it's something too firm or not firm enough? How do you find that balance?
Well, your baby will tell you. Your baby will let you know if you're going too firm, because like when you have a massage, if the masseur is pressing too hard, you sort of feel it and you'd sort of go, ouch. But with the baby, you'd see their face cringing, or they might cry a little bit.
Yeah.
That's probably being too firm.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I mean, if you're doing it too feathery, and that's too, no, when a baby's finding it ticklish,
Yeah.
yeah. But one thing to note, if they are crying, it could be also because they actually don't want to be massaged anymore, that they've had enough. And it's the autonomy and the respect is so important
Yeah.
as well. So if your baby's not enjoying it, or if they're crying for any reason, just stop and communicate with them and chat to them, and try again. If they're still crying, that's it. It's really important to respect
Yeah.
your baby's wishes, because after all, it is baby led. So yeah.
Yeah, I tried baby massage with my first, and he laughed the entire time. And I'm assuming I must have been doing it too gentle, because he just giggled the whole time. Like, this is not relaxing. I'm doing
But
this.
that's fun though.
Yes. Yeah, he's always such a happy kid, and he was always a happy baby. So why do you think touch is so important for your baby?
Babies thrive a lot on touch. They love to be touched, and they love to be communicated with. And it's that bond that you're having with your baby. It's that special magical bond that you're having with your baby as well. And you're helping to develop, when you're touching them and communicating with them, you're helping them to communicate with you. You're helping their social skills. They're helping your hand-eye coordinate. You're combining all those things, and you're communicating with them and talking to them, which they love.
Yeah.
And as I said, the most important thing is that they thrive. They really thrive on touch. I mean, a lot of people say that babies don't like to be touched; they only like to, but they love it. And as I said, your baby, your first, giggled all the way through it, so it's a sign that he probably really loved being touched, and loved that connection. It's a skin to skin with you as well. That they like too. I mean, because as you're talking to them and communicating with them, they've got that skin to skin feeling, and they're feeling you, and they're smelling you, and they're seeing you, and they've got eye contact with you. So it's all those things combined together.
Do you think are you saying that you communicate what you're doing throughout the whole massage, or is that just talking to your baby?
Well, you do both.
Yeah.
I mean, when I do my classes, I always incorporate songs and singing as well.
Okay.
But yes, you tell your baby exactly what you're doing. I mean, I might say, right, I'm just going to massage your leg now, or I'm going to massage your foot now. And you're when you're communicating with them, and that's also the sort of importance of the touch, because you're telling them where you're touching, and they're learning that autonomy. They're learning the positive approaches of touch. And if they don't want it, that's what I was saying before. If they don't want it, it's important to stop, because you're teaching them the positive form of touch as well.
Yeah.
The touch is nice, but if you don't want to be touched, you give them that respect. So, and I'm always telling them what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, so that they know that they're being loved, they know that they're being cared for, and they know that you're not going to do anything that's going to hurt them as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that's such a great skill to have. Start as a little kid, just knowing a baby all the way to toddler phase of just, hey, I don't want to be touched right now, and respecting that.
Yeah, toddlers are fun, because sometimes I always say that I only massage up to about until they're crawling.
Mhm.
Not saying that you can't massage when they're toddlers, because you can, but starting young, they get used to it, and then when they get to toddler stage, all they want to do is just go and have fun and play. And sometimes they might, get if you've done it when they're a baby, they might get the little, the little massage blanket out and the oil out, and lie down and say, "Mum, I want to be massaged now," because they sort of know they've had it before, so they know what to expect. But then, if you ask them if they want a massage at that age, you might say, "No, I want to go and play."
Yeah,
So,
that's
yeah,
so true. I can see my 4-year-old absolutely loving this, to be honest. Even though he's not a toddler anymore, he would absolutely love that. So,
yeah.
how do you ensure that these parents feel comfortable and confident performing the baby massage with their children?
Because you ask, when you always ask your baby's permission, and as I said to you, I demonstrate on a doll,
Yeah.
and I sort of watch what the parents are doing.
Hmm.
And if I feel they're not sort of, if their stroke's not quite right, I wouldn't tell them it's wrong, but I just gently sort of correct them and say, you just put a bit more pressure, or just do it a bit more gently. And I point them in the right direction of which way to go. If they, for instance, say if they were going anti-clockwise instead of clockwise, I gently, I mean, not that there's anything wrong with going anti-clockwise, but the only reason I would correct them on that is because it wouldn't be doing anything to help the baby, because they're not pushing
Right.
anything out. They're just going, I mean, it would be great for the baby, but they're not pushing out all their sort of trapped wind. And that's the key to going clockwise, because it goes in a direction of the valve.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just by because parents know their babies. I mean, you know your own baby, you know your own child, and you know sort of what pressure they like.
Yeah.
So just by sort of watching them and sort of and guiding them, and just gently sort of showing them the strokes and seeing how they go. And if they have any questions, I'd always sort of be open to hearing the questions, so I can help them a little bit better.
Yeah, I see. I think that would be super beneficial, because I remember watching it just on a video online and just feeling like I had no idea what I was doing. And so I could see having that guidance and having the feedback would be really helpful.
Yeah, that's what I try and do on my Zoom classes. I go through each session. I have sort of 3 different sessions, and
Yeah.
I go through each part of the massage, and then I sort of say to them, right, before I go on to the next one, have you got any questions? Because I demonstrate first,
Hmm.
and then I'll give them the space to do it, and I'll sort of ask them if they have any questions, before I go on to the next part of the massage, so that they're sort of learning at the same time. And I have 3 sessions, and I give them each time in those sessions to practice at home, so that when they come back to the second one,
Yeah.
then they might have questions saying, "Oh, I tried this, and I wasn't sure I was doing it right. How do I do that?" And I'd sort of go through that again before I start the next one, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. Um,
So
do you think that the baby massage should be practiced on the regular basis, or is there some times when it's only necessary to do this?
I think it really depends on the baby, but the best time to do massage, have you ever heard of a quiet alert state with the baby?
What is it?
The quiet alert state, it's when your baby has just woken up, and they're active, and they're ready to play, and they're ready to communicate with you.
Yeah.
That's the best time to do it. If you miss that and they get to the sort of sleepy, drowsy stage, they're more likely to be fidgety. They're more likely to think, oh no, I just want to go to sleep. I don't want this.
Mm-hmm.
So it's getting to that sort of quiet alert state when they're just sort of nice and attentive, and they're smiling at you and they're communicating with you and saying, oh, I'd like to be touched, or I'd like to talk to you, can you give me a massage? Because I always ask the baby's permission as well. So, but the quiet alert state is the best time to massage. And depending on how old the baby is, I wouldn't massage straight after a bath. I mean, if they're newborns are up to, say, the age of 4 months, I probably wouldn't massage straight after a bath, because babies sometimes they get overstimulated.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't want to overstimulate them, because you want it to be an enjoyable experience. You don't want to, if they're overstimulated, again, they may not want it.
Yeah.
So I'd sort of wait sort of maybe about 20 minutes or 20 minutes after a bath. And the other time not to massage them is after a feed as well.
Okay.
Because if they've just been fed, they're not, you're not going to want you to, particularly their tummy area, they're not going to want you to massage the tummy area, because it'll just, make them, have, not going to say spew up, but I mean, it's not a good idea to do after they've been fed. They need time to have their little tummies to digest the feed.
Totally makes sense. Those are some really good tips. And you were saying that there are certain times, maybe if they're a little bit more fussy, like if they're in problems, maybe they're a little more gassy. And then you also spoke earlier about sinus, right? If they had any congestion.
Mm-hmm.
And how does that help with the congestion?
Because when you're massaging either the certain areas of the back that we massage, and when you're doing their nose as well, you're actually releasing all that mucus that's in there, in the nose, and you're actually releasing all that and helping that to dissipate and come out. You're actually sort of helping them to release all that.
Yeah.
It's, and if you sort of massage certain areas of the back, you're sort of helping to stimulate all that, and you're warming them up as well, which helps to, because when you put Vicks vapor, when you're an adult and you've got a cold, if you put Vicks vapor rub on you, you're actually putting a bit of heat in there, and that's sort of what you're doing when you're massaging their back or their chest. You're actually sort of putting a bit of heat in there and helping it all sort of release and clear.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why it sort of helps with congestion as well, because yeah,
that sounds like a really helpful tool for sure.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, for congestion, it's great, and for colds, they're a bit sniffly as well.
Oh, yeah.
It helps as well.
Well, is there anything that you would like to share else with our mamas?
I'd just like to say, give baby massage a try, and just you don't have to massage or for very long. Just sort of start by massaging the little legs and massaging their feet, and then building it up, because when a baby's newborn, they're going to take a little bit of time to get used to it. So just take your time, just do it sort of 10 minutes at a time, and have that bonding connection with them.
Yeah.
And then at the when they get a bit more used to it, you can add a little bit, but just have fun and communicate with your baby is my main tip that I would say to mums. And allow yourself to have that bond with them, and allow yourself to have that magical experience, just you and your baby, and you smell them. It's lovely. It's nice.
I know I can't stop smiling when you're explaining it, because I just find that just adorable. Yeah. Anyway, where can we find you?
I have a website called mybabymassage.net. I also have an Instagram handle as well called Baby Massage Helen. But if you go to mybabymassage.net/me, you'll get all that information. You'll find all the stuff that I offer. there's a list of all the things that I offer and that on that link. So that's the easiest place to find me.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
It's a pleasure. I hope I encouraged your mum, your audience, to give it a try and just sort of see what happens. And if they have any questions, I'm always sort of open to hearing from them on Instagram or even on my baby massage page.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you. I'm sure that they would love to try this out. I mean, I really enjoyed trying it on my babies, and now I'm going to dive in deeper and try it again with all of
Good
my.
idea. How old are your ones?
They're 7, 4, almost 5, and 3.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think they'll,
Give it a try.
yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for listening, and I will see you next week on the Early Motherhood Guide podcast.